It's mad how some, like we see it as well. It's constructive criticism, it's critiquing, it's what we do like as commentary. Like, I mean, I personally believe commentary is needed to keep others honest and bring about new discussions and make sure that people are being honest and showing some integrity amongst themselves, because what someone says one week ends up being different the next week, and they say, hang on, you said that one time, and it's like, get out of here, man, you got like 100 subs, who's going to listen to you? And it goes back to the whole sub count thing, which is why I say it's like a hypocrisy on the commentary aspect. It's not just in football YouTube, it's everywhere. You can have a little 10 sub channel say something about a massive couple of 100,000 sub channel, and all of a sudden it's, oh, you're hating, you're clout chasing. It's like, what happened to the good old fashioned way of hearing something you disagree with from someone that you watch or whatever and having your say? That's literally all we do. I look at things and I say, hang on a second, I disagree there. I agree here. These are my points why. This is why I support it. This is why I don't. Formalize it, make notes, put in the video, and then out it goes. Everyone does commentary. That's the maddest thing to me. Everyone does commentary. You discuss something at work, you're giving commentary to somebody else. You're watching a game, you're giving commentary. You're tweeting an opinion, it's commentary. It's just in a different format.
Yeah, exactly. And what some people will fail to realize is I actually have reactions that I've done to Lee Gunner where I'm in favor of what he was talking about.
Same.
So,
I've done the same thing. They're literally on my channel, but people only see the negative. They don't see the positive.
yeah,
No one cares about the good stuff.
yeah, exactly. And it's only when it's stuff on there that people don't like is when it becomes an issue. Like, I've got a feeling now that I'm going to be one of those channels where if I do a reaction, it's going to hit harder, and they're going to take it more personally than if anybody else does a reaction type of thing. That's the feeling that I've got anyway. But
Yeah.
it's
I mean, when I started my channel, I literally had in the about section, I do football commentary, meaning I will give my take and opinions based on what I've heard others people say in panels, in groups, in one, whatever it is. That's how I like to operate. I'm not good with tactics. I don't know the X's and O's. I don't have a UEFA B license for coaching, anything like that. So what I believe I'm good at, my strengths, is hearing something and not so much dissecting it or analyzing it. I think that's too strong of a word, but at least looking at it and trying to think in a broader sense and try and make something of what's being said. Other people, they want to talk tactics and all that sort of stuff. That's on them. And my whole thing is, if you want to speak about something, give your opinion, by all means do it. Anyone can do it. Everyone should. And the risk is if you pigeonhole yourself where you start one way and then that's all you know, they know you for. But if it works for you, it's probably not the worst thing.
yeah, it's the thing is about football channels is, and this is what leads into streaming all the time and feeling that you need to be in front of the camera all the time, is if your channel as a football channel is purely match previews and match reactions, you have to ideally you have to stream them, get your monetization through the super chats, because nobody's going to then go back to remember when Yorkshire going to do that match preview in 2022. I'm going to go watch that. Nobody's going to go back there. Whereas when it comes to commentary or reaction that you include in your channel, that's something some people will go back and watch. I've got people commenting now on the video of rants of me responding to rants when he was talking about wanting to fight me and everything like that. There's people commenting on that now. So people have actually gone back, or it's come up somehow on their feed and they're watching it. But nobody's gone back to my video when I did the match preview for the Community Shield last season with Man City versus Arsenal. Nobody's going to go back there and be like, oh yeah, I enjoyed watching that. They're just going to watch it one time and then that's it, it's gone. So adding commentary to your channel and adding some reaction channels can take the load off as well. And it'll be videos maybe that people come back to and watch because they might have found it funny, like the editing that I do. Because I enjoy editing videos. I enjoy like editing videos. So it's that's fits well with this channel. So I had to change my bio a little bit on the YouTube channel. But yeah, it is what it is.
It's crazy. Some people say like, "Don't you talk about football? Why you always talk about other people?" It's like it's literally in my about section. I literally have videos. The first like 10 videos or something is about content creators, commentary, holding people accountable, having different opinions and things like that. It's not hard to find. I'm pretty transparent as it is. I'll give my takes. I'll give my opinions on some things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's my main focus. During the season, I'll do a preview of a Liverpool match or a big match if there's implications regarding Liverpool or somebody else. And then I might do a post match, give my immediate thoughts, frustrations, vent it out, and then it's done. I don't sit there. How many views have I got? How many subs did I gain? Did I get any revenue? That stuff is irrelevant to me. I do this shit for fun. Look, it's four past 12 in the morning now, and I'm having a conversation because I want to have a conversation, not because I'm going to make money or anything like that. I just want to have a genuine conversation. That's all some people want to do. But then some people, they see it as hating because you're bringing a counter argument to what someone else has said, or you want views because you're calling their names out and things like that. And very hypocritical with what we've seen in the last few days based on previous years.
Yeah, it's unfortunately that's how it's going to be. If you do a reaction and you put the person's name in your title, they're just going to get upset and they're just going to cry that you're doing this, you're doing that, you're hating. Like the things that I've been accused of what I've supposedly done in my video is just astounding that people on his side ran with it and said that that is what he's doing. And I've even listened to my own video back. I've listened to it back, I've watched it back, and I'm struggling to find where I said anything that's wrong, anything that's a lie. Because if they can do that, then we can talk about it. Now I know obviously Jez wanted me to come onto his stream because real men talk face to face through HD cameras.
Yeah, I saw that. I got a laugh out of that.
That's my outro now on my videos. That's going to be my outro until further notice. But he wanted me to do that, and at first I was like, I'm not speaking to someone that's blatantly lied. And then it hit me. I thought to myself, maybe I should just put myself out there and just talk it out. But I'll only do that if they play my video in the chat, so we can both watch it together, we can both react to it together. You can pause it when you feel I've said anything wrong, and then go off that, because then there's no argument then. But of course he won't do that, because that means that will debunk his entire hour video he did on me, where he's saying that I've said all these things, made out all these things. So it's understandable that he didn't take it, and no response anyway.
Yeah. Well, this comment here from Connor says, "I'm starting my channel first week of the new season. If I get flack, then so be it." But that's just it's inevitable. It is inevitable. It is a part of online content or on online discussion. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's artwork, if it's music. I mean, I do music as well. I'm always self-conscious of my work. Are people going to like it? People going to hate it? Is it going to get views? Are people going to be sharing it? And then you see your comments. Like, I'll put a video out there. I think it's the shittest video I've done. I think it's absolute trash, but I just felt like I had to get something out there to get off my chest. And then before you know it, it's had a few thousand views and comments are going off. You just can't pick some things. You will get haters in there. It's inevitable. It's a part of it. It's like the good thing is, I suppose, you can block it out. Some people say it's a bitch move, but realistically, you control what you see on your timeline, what you get in your comments. You can moderate it. You can block people. You can do all sorts of things. How you look at it is all completely up to you. But the hardest thing is starting first up, getting past the nervy stages. Once you get on a roll, once you get confident and get a bit more positivity, it does become a little bit easier. But one thing that I noticed in the comment as well, and that was, you're not a real Arsenal fan because from Yorkshire, because you've got a Yorkshire accent. You're not a real Arsenal fan. When you do that shit was funny. What is a real fan to you, man?
I mean, you can be a fan from anywhere, and if you're following a club wherever you're from, and that's the club you follow, not everybody's going to know everything about the club, but they'll know enough as to what a fan knows, what the average fan knows. I don't like to get onto this real fan, fake fan. I mean, I think it's easy to identify a fake fan more because, for example, like I've watched football content and I'm seeing Man City fans, and I can just tell it's like, no, that's I just can't believe that it's really, you was really about that life kind of thing. But I think it's easier to tell with a club where their success just came out of nowhere in comparison to a club like Liverpool, Arsenal, Man U. But being from Yorkshire and supporting Arsenal, as I said, it spits in the face of all his subscribers that support whatever club they support and they're not from that area, whether they live in England, Scotland, Wales, and anywhere outside the UK. I just think that was a comment. I think that comment did hit him a little bit, because I had someone comment on inbox me on Instagram saying that he went from 5.81k subs to 5.8k subs, which means he lost about 80 subs. I gained about over 100 subs since he made that video, because I was on 804 subs when he made his reaction to me, and now I'm on 916 or something like that now.
It's mad how the switch can happen. I mean, look, I don't actually specifically do shit to grow subs. Obviously, the main aim of the game is to get views. You want people watching your stuff, whether they
Yeah,
agree or disagree, that's completely on them. But you make stuff because you want to have yourself heard. If people like it, if people enjoy it, it'll gain a reaction, it'll gain traction. Some things, like I said, they just hit. Like you think, yeah, it's a 10-minute video, maybe not my best thing, but it's out there, whatever. And then before you know it, it's gained views, you've gained tens of subs, etc., etc. It's not so much what you say, it's how you say as well. If he still
yeah,
had a negative response to it, but he came out and said, look, I know you made a video about one of my friends, but let me assure you, he's very hardworking. You maybe want to be on the same path. Maybe you should try these things instead of coming at you and calling you an idiot or a clown, everything else like that. The response is also important. Don't forget, that's big,
yeah,
big important.
yeah, yeah. The response was, I mean, I expected it, but like other people were commenting in my response to him, like just basically saying like this got him triggered so much. I mean, I had someone, I think one of the people that were commenting in my video, I think at first he was kind of, well, he or she was kind of like neutral about it, kind of thing. But then as they were watching the second half, it got to a point where they were saying, I can't really defend Jez because there's no need to be reacting like this. This has gone too far now. And
Mm.
when I watched I watched my part one as it was premiering, so I could keep up with the chat. And one of the people in the chat did say that they thought that they think that it's not just because I did the reaction to Lee why he's like that. It's because of the videos I did on rants. It's just that me doing a video on Lee was a tipping point, and I never thought of it that way. But now, when I think of it, it must be true, because to react like that, he's annoying, he's a knob, he's an absolute prick. All these things for one video. That sounds like
Yeah.
it's a reason for several. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you see one video, you think ignore it, okay, whatever. Someone's trying to gain views, trying to farm some traction. You do it again, like, okay, what's going on here? You do it a third time. But even in my video when I did it, I think the opening line or the opening paragraph was, look, this isn't directly about Lee, but it's more about what he said, and we expanded it in a broader sense because he is correct. Streaming is not easy, and I know we're meant to talk about football and shit like that. We'll get there in a moment's time, but I think people underestimate the whole aspect when it comes to streaming. Like people think, yes, turn on the camera, speaking to the microphone, and away you go. I was explaining it the other day, and I got a friend who watches as well. He's a Manchester United fan. He watches the same channels I do, and we talk every. Oh, did you see this on this stream? Oh, did you hear this? Did you hear that? And then it's those things. And I say to him, I'm going to talk about this tonight. And he goes, oh, okay. I'm not sure what happened. I said, I'll keep you up to date. And I'll send him a screenshot of notes, comments, 2, 3, A4 pages worth of me just typing up throughout the day, planning shit ahead in between work. And then you come home, you prepare, you get yourself sorted out. there's a lot of work that goes involved in this stuff. It's not just turn the camera on and rattle on. If you're doing a watch along, it's a different story. But if you're doing commentary or something and you want to actually add to the conversation and have someone think in a different way, there's a lot of work involved in that shit. And that takes time as well, not just the streaming hours.
Yeah. For me, the hardest part is setting everything up. Once I press record, this is like I'm good now, kind of thing. Because at first I was pre-recording and then editing and then uploading. Sometimes I still do that anyway. And then I thought, let me just stream them, because the easiest part about streaming is the videos up instantly. It's there straight away. I don't have to wait for nothing to load. I don't have to wait for nothing. And in all the editing I do in my pre-recorded videos, I can do them instantly, kind of thing. Not as good, but they can be done instantly. So that's the part that the hardest part is just basically getting everything together, just to say, oh, but once it's up, I mean, I usually plan things in my head. I know what I'm going to say, or I know what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes what happens is I end up pressing record and then something slipped my mind. So that's why I end up repeating myself, because sometimes I can't remember what I was going to say about certain parts of the topic. But yeah, if you're streaming long hours, I mean, I've done a few watch-alongs, but it's not something that I want to keep doing. I don't really get the views to do watch-alongs, and I have done match vlogs. I did a couple last season, but I don't even think that the next time I go watch Arsenal, I don't think I won't even want to do that, because it takes away the enjoyment of the game as well, because you just there holding your phone. And so, but yeah, I mean, I can't say I find streaming hard, because I don't do it hardcore like these other channels do.
It's mad when people do it non-stop. Like, they've developed the brand for it. Obviously, the personality is there. And even I said, to use Lee as an example, I might not agree with him on some things, flaunting your money and things like that. Not for me. That's it's cringe. Abusing people in the chat, calling them poor and stuff like that, uncalled for. Doesn't matter what they say to you. You should not be responding in kind that way. Don't feed the troll, sort of a thing. But there's no denying he's entertaining. When he gets on one of his roles, the man is entertaining as hell, man. He is quality. But you need the personality for that. I keep saying, I can do a watch along. What's the difference between what I say and you say? We can talk on the same things. You might have more value in yours, be more interesting than me because of some things that you add, or the editing, which I do like, by the way. Like a lot of the Next Friday references and that sort of shit. That it brings me back to my teenage days. And it's the personality that keeps people coming back. It's not like, why would I watch this person that's always mopey and upset? Why would I watch this person who's always complaining and moaning? But if there's a bubbliness to it, if there's something happy, if someone's joyful and energized, people will keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly. As you said about personality, like, obviously you get two people that can do the same thing, but somebody's personality to what they're talking about will just hit different. Somebody might say something better than the way you said it, type of thing. And as I said, when it comes to, like, say, the editing that I do, like, some people may be drawn to my channel because of that type of thing, because I add a little bit more to it, type of thing. It's not just me just saying something and that's it. Like, I say something and then I play a video clip that's corresponding to what I'm talking about. So that makes it funny. That adds a little bit more to it.
Correct.
Obviously, I do the same thing with my editing videos, and yeah, I mean, it's. But the thing is, I enjoy doing those things anyway, like the editing for my pre-recorded videos and the stuff I do while on stream. But in terms of doing it so much to the point where it's affecting, outside of the laptop kind of thing.
See, there you go. It's affecting the streaming life. It affects everything else.
Yeah,
You really have to sacrifice a lot of things, man. See, the shit is real. It is real, man. It's weird, but look, everyone has a different way of doing stuff. Some people like doing the commentary, and look, I'm not going to mention who it was. Maybe they want to be mentioned, but a very prominent person who does a lot of production and behind the scenes work with one of the big football YouTube channels even said to me many years ago during COVID lockdown here in Australia. I was bored. I'm scrolling through YouTube and I seen, a compilation made by somebody, and I'm like, I want to react to this. I want to watch it first time and do a reaction because I saw them on YouTube at the time, and I did it.
Yeah.
And the video is long gone now. If it was on some random channel I created and I deleted, and they actually hit me up and they say, you know what, in the comments, I actually thoroughly enjoyed your reaction. This is what I live for. I love this sort of stuff. And then later down the track, we keep in touch. And then I said to him before I started, late September, before I started the channel, something like that, September, whatever it was, I said, look, I want to do a YouTube channel, but I want to focus on commentary, like talk about what the big channels have said and add, a different discussion, a different point. And they said, you know what, it's not a bad thing to do because there's not many people that do it, because a lot of people see it as we've discussed, hating, farming for views, etc., etc. But they said, if you do it and you do it right or in a good way, it could take off for you because the market isn't there for it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with commentary reaction stuff, so long as it's done in a way where you are given the full context. As you said, show the clip, what you're reacting to, and let's not have someone copyright strike it down because they didn't like what you said, or because it was a madness that had, like what happened to me. And I'm past that now, but it's just those sorts of things. Like, we put the clips in context so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the thing about the copyright thing is that's the Trojan horse for the for commentary channels. Is you get channels that will just see it and be like, I don't like the fact that you're doing that type of thing. That's why, like, most of my DR Sports reactions have copyright, but the ones that don't, I think I've flipped the video so it's backwards.
The copyright content ID tool has come into effect.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the last one I did was, I think, about Ty from AFTV. But yeah,
Ty's quality, man.
Yeah, I was hoping that I didn't really need to squeak the voices, but I think that's not the last video I did was when Robbie was talking about he wants Southgate out, and I was saying about how him and Arteta are no different. I squeaked the voice just in case, and I flipped the video, and that's the only harder part about it, because if you as a commentary channel see something and you think to yourself, I'm going to react to it straight away, you then have to think about I haven't got a hold of the video. I can only go on YouTube and just watch it or whatever. So I haven't downloaded it. I haven't flipped it and whatever. So that kind of then adds time to your reaction. Whereas if it wasn't for people copyright striking your video for what you're reacting to of theirs, you can just react to it straight away and just be comfortable. But now you have to worry about potentially being struck because you're playing their content, which, yeah, it's just, obviously I don't agree with people doing that, but copyright's copyright. That's how they feel. What can we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
there definitely is a use of abusing the copyright system. That definitely is a thing. I know from I wouldn't say my experience, but watching contents for the better part of a decade almost over YouTube, I've seen a lot of people argue and fight and have disputes over copyright, where they use my content and they've criticized them. I didn't like what they said, so they copyright strike. But if they're speaking in a positive manner and bigging them up and saying, I agree, look at this is why I agree, nobody has any issues with that. But as soon as it's a negative, all of a sudden we have massive problems here.